Hello, everyone. Welcome to Miss Silly Lessons Learned. I have, our awesome guest tonight. She's also a teacher, but at the elementary level. So I am going to turn it over and let her introduce herself. Go ahead, Chi.
Hi, my name is Chi Rasi Tong. I am an elementary teacher. I've been teaching for 17 years, and I teach here in San Jose, California.
Wonderful. Chi, what is your degree in? What was your bachelor's in?
It was just liberal studies. I got a bachelor's in liberal studies.
Mhm.
hmm
And then, what made you decide to go into teaching?
Um, Two reasons. The first reason is my dad was a teacher. The other reason is I just love kids.
Yeah, I
You know,
know. Bless
Simple
you for
reasons.
being an elementary, Chi. You know, I admire you guys, at the elementary level. And you said your dad was a teacher in Laos?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Was he surprised when you actually said, hey, I want to go into teaching?
Mm, I mean, he said it's a respected position in Laos. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Because when I was little, taught my sister how to read, and I did all these other like fun stuff with them, and so I felt like, you know what, that's what I want to do.
I did the same thing. I actually got like gather all the neighborhood kids. I would bake and
hmm
then I would like, get extra worksheets and bring it home and, and have my own schooling in the garage.
Oh
So,
yeah, I didn't go. I wasn't that extreme, but I would like, organize like, like a fair that we would play. We would go on nature walks, something more fun.
oh,
Not worksheets, no.
oh, cute. I love it. Okay. Can you tell us like your education journey? Like, what was it like, elementary, high school, and college? Did you struggle with any obstacles?
I did. In elementary, I had to repeat. I believe it was either first or second grade. It was pretty traumatic for me. So I don't remember what grade, but I had to repeat either first or second grade. So it was hard, even though my dad, he spoke, English, but he didn't, he wasn't very like fluent in it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't get a lot of support at home because my mom, of course, she didn't speak English at all, and she didn't read or write. And so it was a hard journey, but I think I didn't really understand, or didn't really know how to read until I was sixth grade. So
Wow.
yeah, it was really hard because I came
Wow,
here.
gee.
Yeah, I came here when I was 5, and yeah, I struggle. I struggle with education a lot. So it
Yeah,
took some time.
because I we didn't get here till I was 8 when we got here. Did
hmm
you ever go through like a mute period? Like you were able to speak, but I was like so embarrassed of my accent. I was afraid kids would laugh at me because kids did,
Yeah.
laugh and make fun of me when I was in second grade when I started school in America. They would point and and laugh at the way I dress. And so when I started
Mhm.
to pick up the language, the only reason why I wanted to pick up the language was to cuss them out. What I mean?
Mhm.
Because they were like making fun of me. So did you ever go through that, period at
I
all
I
where
don't
Mhm.
I don't think I had problems with pronunciation because I started when I was young. Like I was 5, right? I
I
don't know how old you were when you came here, but
yeah.
I was pretty young, and so I don't really speak my language that well. But some people told me that I do a pretty good job with speaking
Yeah.
Lao. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
trying, but other than that, yeah, like I've never went to school in Laos, so
Mhm.
I think my pronunciation is okay. So I wasn't really made fun of, but in
Yes.
regards to probably clothes, yes, because we were poor, and so I would wear my brother's clothes, and they would sometimes wear mine. So
Right.
we would shop at Goodwill, and so
Mhm.
yeah, that would be what they would probably, I would say, laugh at.
Right. Well, when we came, I was 8 years old, and we were actually sponsored by Highland Baptist Church. So, what
Oh,
was your pathway here, Chi? Was it a family member sponsored your family, or was it a church or nonprofit?
you know what? I've been meaning to ask my dad about that. I think we did got sponsor here, but my dad, he worked for the American Embassy. And so,
Wow.
yeah, so we were able to come. through, but I'm sorry to say I haven't really talked to him about how we got here, but I think we were sponsored as well.
Wow, that's amazing that your dad worked at the American Embassy.
Hmm.
So obviously he, maybe he interpreted,
Yeah, he was a
for
translator. He told me he was a translator.
yeah. When we were at the camp in Ubon,
Hmm.
there was this man who helped a lot of, refugees. His name was like
Hmm.
John something. And my mom, when I was talking to her about it, she mentioned his name, but you know how, when Asian folks say names, it sound different, and tell, oh, it's John so and so, and he's actually on
Hmm.
Facebook. So it's amazing.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he
yeah, that's
helped many.
awesome.
Yeah, he helped many, many families actually at the camp where we were at. Do you remember what camp you guys were at all?
I don't, but I believe my dad did. He did
Yeah.
tell me that we were, in the camps in Thailand for 2 years. And it's funny how um I have a friend named Sammy, and she was just learning her history of how she got here, and she has all these questions too. And I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna do that with my dad, but I just never got around to it. So
Yeah.
I think for sure that's something that I need to do.
Yeah, like it's surprising, like
Yeah.
what where you at and everything. Chi, when you went to college, okay, when you graduated from high school, did
Mhm.
you automatically think you were going to go to college? And you said, "Yeah, I'm going to go to college."
No, probably because of the financial issue. I didn't know where I was going to get the funds to go. So
Mhm.
no, I didn't see myself going to college.
Yeah, and it's not like, Chi, like we didn't have people looking out for us and people telling
Yes,
us this is what you did, this is what you do, even
yes, you're right.
counselors, right?
Yeah, you're
Even
right.
counselors.
My parents, since they didn't go to college, you know what I mean? They didn't know the path to assist me, correct?
Right.
So, yeah, but the counselor, they did help though. I have to say, I went to college first, and then I went to the CSU.
Yeah. So how was your experience in college? Were there
Um,
other Lao students around you at all?
yes, there were. I think my college experience was pretty fun. I think what made it fun is there wasn't really any pressure because my dad, he was really tough with us with school, and he was pretty good with looking at our report cards. But when you go to college, right, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? But I mean, I wasn't a bad student. I mean, I didn't ditch class or anything like that, but I felt like less pressure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh
That
yeah.
that's good. My mom's always ranting about, I sent you to college, to get your education, not a boyfriend. I'm like, okay, mom, I'm like 21 now. I'm almost done with school. So they're always like hardcore.
Yeah.
Gee, let's talk about your job as an elementary, teacher. Because
Mhm.
like, look, right, to be honest, like for me, I love little kids and I always been good with little kids, but I
Mhm.
never saw myself teaching elementary.
Mhm.
So, what made you gravitate specifically towards elementary?
Honestly, I just thought they were cute.
Yeah, they are, right?
They are cute, but I like I was telling you, through your questions that
Yeah.
if I had to do it all over again, I would probably teach junior high or high school.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I think it's because with elementary you have to teach all subjects. So
Right.
that's a lot of lesson planning to do. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my goodness.
And so when I was subbing for 4 years, I really enjoyed junior high and high school because it was just one subject. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, when the next period, when the next period you teach, you had some practice with the first period, so you get better
Right.
at your lessons, right?
Right.
But with elementary, it's always new. It's like
Yes.
5 lessons, you know what I mean, per day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
think of it that way. Like you're right, I mean, I have three preps, but it's like, like if I didn't do something right first period, by second period I can modify,
Mhm.
because it's like, the same. So I
Yeah, and
totally
we don't
get
have
that.
prep. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
What
yeah, with teaching elementary is very it takes a lot of energy out of you. When something's not working, the kids, they'll let you know right away. They'll be off task, they won't be listening, right? You have to just change your teaching, like, okay, let's do this. You know what I mean? If they don't understand, okay, let's try this. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think I personally think, and I think I could say this because, I've subbed in all these other grade levels. I think elementary um, level is more difficult than the high school level,
Yeah, I
you know,
totally agree with you because
for academics that is, but I don't know with, with their
about the
social,
social,
emotional. Yeah,
emotional
yeah,
aspects of it,
yeah. That
because
I
I
think
mean,
in high school it might be more difficult, right?
yeah, I
Because they're
think,
going through a lot.
yeah, when I taught at the middle school, I thought the middle school was much more, tougher because
Hmm.
they still like, they're
Yeah,
hitting puberty, they're growing, they
yeah,
trying to socialize, they
yep.
go around
Hmm.
doing weird things like hit each other,
Hmm.
and tell you about it. So yeah, I did it for like 2 years, 1 or 2 years in middle school. It's like, no, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I love high school, you know.
Yeah, with
So
elementary, the kids, I mean, they're pretty, most of the kids are pretty well behaved. It's just they want a lot of attention.
right,
If they get in a fight during recess, and if you don't solve that coming in, you're not gonna be able to teach. You know what I mean?
right.
They're just so consumed with the issue that they had during that time. So we have to, "Hey,
Yes.
let's have a class meeting. What's going on? You know what I mean?" So it takes a lot of that kind of time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And like,
they just can't like flip the switch and like be like, okay, it's learning time now. I got to focus on learning. It's more,
right.
they're still thinking about, you did this to me, she did this to me. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
mean that
kinder's worse. Kinder's
yeah.
worse.
Wait, Chi, what grade level you have?
I taught kinder for 5 years, and I
Wow.
taught third for another 5, and then I taught second for another, I think 2 or 3. I don't remember. Then I taught third again.
Yeah.
But kinder was difficult because they're very needy.
Hmm.
So she won't
Yes.
be my friend. You know what I mean? So,
Already?
yeah, so you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. That still
So,
happens at the high school level, trust me.
oh really?
So and so talk about me. So and so said this and that. I'm like, well, is it true? And they're like, yeah, but still the point is, I go, if it's true, then come on, Yeah,
Hmm.
they're still needy. They still, want your
But at
attention.
least they can reason, right? I mean, at the
Yes, they
younger
can
grade levels,
reason.
they can't.
Yeah, they can reason,
So
right? I mean,
I
you
would
just have to
tell
know
them,
how to talk to
what?
them.
If they don't want to be your friend, I can't really make them be a friend. You know what I mean? I mean, well,
Yeah,
technically I could, but they're not going to be a nice friend if I make them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
I love that. Chicken, I know you mentioned substitute, teaching and how
Mhm.
helpful it is, if
Yes.
anybody want to go to teaching. Can you talk about that for a moment?
Yes. Because, when you subbing is much easier than the actual teaching. And you probably know that
Yes.
because you don't have to do the lesson. You just go in and you just kind of like follow the lesson plan. The only reason why it might be harder is because you don't have that relationship with the student. So they might kind of act out and they might kind of test your boundaries, you know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, I think it gives you a good experience of, you know, where you want to make a decision. Do you really want to do this? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But when you sub, you get to sub, all grade levels, right? I even subbed in like um what's it called? Kids where they get in trouble. What's it called?
It's like alternative ed,
I subbed
juvenile.
into turn ed, but also juvenile hall.
Yeah,
Yes,
wow.
so I subbed in juvenile hall as well. I
How
also
was that?
actually that was probably my favorite sub
No
assignment.
way.
Yes, because I had like a police officer in the classroom with me, and they
Yeah.
came out of their cell, they sat down, and if they need help, they raise their hand, they come to my desk, and I, kind of like taught them one-on-one, you know what I mean? Then they go back to their seat. It was so easy because they were well behaved because if they act up, then they get more time. So it was a breeze. I loved
W-
it.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
That
Also subbed at like special education, and I
yes.
love that also.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really surprised that I enjoyed that. I was there for like a month. But
Yes.
like let me answer your question. Yes, so when you sub, you get to know what ages you want to work with, and what subject you want to teach. So because I was so far into, my schooling already that I couldn't change.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So definitely if you want to teach, get through your substitute teacher certificate and start subbing, and then you'll know, what grade levels you will, enjoy, or if
Yeah.
you want to teach at all, because it's not easy.
No, it's
And you
not.
know that it's not easy.
Yeah, I had substitute teachers, like they don't come back, to the
Oh
school,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I have some that's really good, like, that I always call if I'm gone. But my kids,
Mm,
they freak
mm,
out. Like if I'm gone for one day, they act like I've been
mm.
gone for a year. I'm like,
Yes.
you better be good, you better be good for them because you're representing me, so
Yes, because they
they
like
like
that
to try.
routine, they're like, that's not how my teacher does it. And I was
I
telling them,
know,
when I'm
yeah,
gone, it's not gonna be how I do it. Okay. You guys have to
right.
learn how to adjust, like they're not me, so they're gonna do things a little bit differently. You know what I mean? So just be kind and just go with the flow.
Right, they get territorial sometimes,
Yeah,
they'll be like, "No, that's not what Miss Chi does."
yeah.
When she teaches the alphabet, she does this and that.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
I love that. And I did sub I didn't get a job till like 6 months after I got, graduate from college.
mm.
Right, I love subbing, with the special ed students, and they kept calling me back,
Yes.
so I learned a lot from, from subbing as well, like you said, you know.
Yeah, I would probably like continue subbing seriously, because I really enjoy the fact that if I didn't feel good, then I could just like, cancel my job, or you know what I mean? The only thing that wasn't good about subbing is that you don't get, the what you call it, health coverage.
Right. I know we do got good health, coverage, so that's
Mm,
important. All
yeah.
right, Chi, that's a lot of information about your job as a teacher. So besides teaching, what other projects or businesses do you have or are working on?
Oh my goodness. Well, I have a company called Civic Gear. I don't know if you heard of. Oh yeah, you of course you heard of. You bought something from
Yes,
me.
I
Hello.
heard, and tell them about the concept behind it. I love the concept behind your
Well,
brand.
well, this is kind of personal, but during that time when I was, thinking about, starting this company, I had a difficult time with insomnia. I had a difficult time sleeping, and
Yes.
so pretty personal, but I used to have really bad anxiety and panic attacks,
Right.
and so but anyhow, during the middle of the night, I would think about, of course, your teacher, you think about your students,
Yes.
and as the year progressed, I noticed that my students are more heavy set.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
even though they're thin, but they always have like kind of like a pooch, you know what I mean? And it
Yes.
really concerns me. And sometimes when I'm playing with them, during recess time, like they can't outrun me, And so thinking about that, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna create something that's gonna encourage them to, stay fit. You know what I mean? And because it's really important that you're not just smart, you need to also be healthy. And in order to be healthy, you need to be active.
Right.
The other part of CV Gear is about, being positive. Because
Right.
sometimes students, they tend to, take, problems to the extreme. You know what I mean? Like life is going to be over because, they can't have a certain dessert or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you have
Yeah.
students like that, or she won't be my friend. So, like I'm done with today. I don't want to do nothing. You know what I mean? So I always try to help them, to encourage them to, be positive. And when I look around my students, they just wear certain things that really don't have any meaning.
Yeah.
And I was like, how wonderful it would be to like have your student wear something that will motivate them to, be positive, or encourage them to be active.
Right.
So that's how CV Gear was formed. The slogan, my students actually helped me with the slogan. One of the
Wow.
slogan, yeah, the slogan, like um, set goals, take action, achieve dreams.
Yes.
That was from my student. It was in second grade.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about how we, think about our goals and how we need to set goals that we want to achieve, in life. And in order for that to happen, you have to, take action. You can't just say, oh, I want to be a basketball player, but then you just sit on a couch and, you eat. You know what I mean? You got to
And
do
look at the
something.
basketball.
Yeah, if you want to be a better reader, you can't say, okay, I want to be a better reader, but then you don't read. You have to take the action in order to achieve your goals. So, yeah,
I love that. And then Chi,
yes.
because when I saw the brand, I don't
Hmm.
know, when I said civet, I was thinking of life. You know, the
Yeah,
word
it is.
life, civet.
Yep. Hmm.
Am I
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why when I saw it, I really, it was, catchy, and I went, look at your philosophy behind it. That's why I said that's, I think that's amazing that there is a reason for it,
Yeah.
especially like, it's like your work life translate to like your outside, your work, your personal life, and it's connected together actually, your mission,
Yeah.
so I love
And
that.
Sivit also means also like overcoming, like Sivit, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna get through
Yes,
it. You know what I mean? So it
yes,
has a double meaning.
I
So
love
yeah.
that.
And then the picture, the slogan,
Yeah,
not the slogan, what am I saying?
the
I can't
logo.
think. the, the logo, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm tired. I've been working my garden all day. The logo
Right,
is a picture of it's a flame. You know what I
right.
mean? So
Hmm.
it's, burning, igniting, starting, you know what I mean? Purifying. So that's what the
Yes.
flame means.
Yes, I love it. And then I know that from Facebook, you guys like,
Mhm.
you, your husband, and family and friends, you guys go like climb mountains or go hiking and things like
Yeah.
that, also to
Yes.
actually live your mission, not just talk about it.
Yes. Well, I have to be honest. I don't really live the get fit mission too well. My husband is the one that lives that one. He goes
Yeah.
to the
Hey,
gym
hey, hey.
every day. I
Yes,
mean,
but you know what? Though, look, you garden, you are active, you are
yes,
physical, you're not sitting
yes,
on the couch doing
yes,
nothing.
yes. I am
So
trying. I told him like, okay, that's your slogan. Mine is the set goal slogan.
we make a perfect team, right?
Yes.
Okay, how about your other? I know you just came out with a product. Can you like, tell
Yes.
us about that?
It's funny, but like my husband said, he likes to eat sticky rice, but he doesn't like to make sticky rice. You know what I mean? And one of
Yes,
the reasons why we don't like to cook sticky rice is because of the basket. We always have to soak
yes,
the basket, and
yes.
sometimes I don't have the patience, so I take a spoon and I try to scrape it off. You know what I mean? And of course, that ruins my basket, and it never comes completely off. So I'm like thinking to myself, dang, I wanted to, how can I fix this problem? Because he loves to eat sticky rice. I can just eat, the plain rice. I'm fine with that. But my
Yeah.
husband, he's old fashioned. He loves to eat sticky rice because he feels like if he doesn't eat sticky rice, he feels like he
Rep
doesn't
Kun
have.
Lao.
Yeah, well, he feels like he doesn't have enough energy. He gets hungry again. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
don't, I don't know, but he says that eating sticky rice, makes him work better because he's not focused on, oh gosh, I'm hungry, gotta eat again, it
Right.
takes him longer. So anyways, yeah, and I like to dehydrate food, you know what I mean, like fruits and stuff like that. And so I'm like, you know what, the dehydrated sheets, it doesn't stick. So anyways, I started to use I took the sheets and I started cutting and I start stitching it into the shape of the basket just to line the basket. And lo and behold, it works, you know.
What? That's brilliant.
Yeah, so I was stitching it. It was hard to stitch because it's made out of silicone, you know what I mean? So it would like kind of like tear. So I'm like, okay, I need someone to do this for me. So I contacted some companies and share my ideas with them. And then I said, you know what, I need to get this patent.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a roller coaster, because I had to, write this out and draw this out and take pictures and you know what I mean? It
Such a
was,
process, huh?
yeah, it is a process. Yes.
So you already registered the patent? Is it
Yes.
registered already?
Yes. I got the provisional patent. So that's for a year. But if I want the other patent, which will last for 25 years, I have to submit it within a year.
Yeah.
So I have to do more work, let's just say.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's great that you started, you know what I mean? Like, like if I was to look at that, I wouldn't even think of it. I'll be looking at the dehydrator. I'll be like, oh, that's nice. Okay, when is it gonna be done? I wish I could come up with those brilliant ideas, you
Like
know?
I like to make life more simple. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Mhm.
wasn't really trying to, be an inventor or anything like that. I was like, you know what? I like to, solve problems.
Yeah. That
So,
you,
and yeah,
yeah.
and I shared it with my friend, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it works!" And then, of course, the first time I gave it to my husband, he looked at, it, he goes, "Hmm," like he wasn't like interested. And then when he saw me use it, he goes, "Oh wow, this really works." I'm like, "Yeah, hello," you know what I mean?
Right? I know I've done that, where you use a spoon and then you coot, like the
Mhm.
basket and you have
Yeah,
then there's a hole in the basket. You're like, oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. No
So
more. I don't have to do that anymore. Like, I just have it right over my. I would have it sitting in my basket, or else I have kind of like over my basket. So when I cook, I don't have
yeah,
that issue anymore. It's not an issue anymore. So I love it. It saves me
yeah.
time, it saves me my basket too, or else I usually,
Just
go through a basket. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Time
Just
and time when you
just
keep
throw it in
soaking
there
it.
and that's it.
Yeah. Yep. Soaking it and scraping it. And, then you
Yeah.
need a new basket.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, Chief, for sharing that because I think that's amazing that you are a teacher, but then you also, you have a business as well. I guess it's important for us not to stay stagnant, always
Yeah.
continuously improving in our personal and educational lives, right?
Mhm.
Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, that's it. Thank you for having me. And I really admire you, doing this and, getting teachers talking about
Yeah.
their duties and whatnot.
Yeah. No, thank you for being here because I know you don't like to be on camera and things like
No, I
that. So,
don't. And I told myself, you know what? Before I came, I'm like, oh man, I should have done this in the morning when I have more energy. Because I started another project in my greenhouse. And I'm like, I'm tired.
I know, right? You're like, oh, but you did it. Look,
I did
finally,
it.
right? So I'm proud of you. All
Thank
right, guys.
you.
So that's it for us. But thank you so much for watching and listening. So I hope you understand like what teachers at the elementary level goes through on a daily basis. But also one of the most important lessons I think we need to, tell people is we are people too, outside of the classroom. And we do
Yeah.
have hopes and dreams that's outside of our education arena. So until then, guys, take care of yourself, stay connected with your, loved ones and community and be the change, like they said, that you want to see in the community. I'll see you again. Thank you.